you are well. Thank you for keeping it TV47. This is TV47 live from Nairobi, Kenya, here with the latest in the world of news. Clinical officers across the country have launched a nationwide strike today after the 14-day ultimatum issued by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers to the government expired at midnight Sunday. A family in Nakuru is demanding justice following the mysterious disappearance of their relative who was reportedly taken from Manyani Estate by Kenya Wildlife Service wardens.
Ranger mwenye alishika Brayo hatupatie Brayo kwa sababu that will be easy kwa sababu yeye ndo anajua kwa nini alifanya nini, alipeleka Brayo. So yani kitu tuna plead ni watuambie tu kwenye Brayo nako.
Donald Trump will be sworn in for a second time as United States President on Monday, with plans to expand executive powers, deport millions of immigrants, retaliate against political foes, and reshape America's global role. Welcome. My name is Moige. Starting off, clinical officers nationwide have officially launched their strike today, following the expiration of the 14-day notice issued by the Kenya Union of Clinical Officers at midnight. The strike, which had been announced on January 7th, is driven by rising tensions of alleged discrimination by the Social Health Authority and the refusal to impanel healthcare facilities owned by clinical officers. With these critical issues unresolved, the strike is set to disrupt services across the country.
My name is Peterson Washira, and again we are here as the Kenya Union of Clinic Officers to announce to the country that we started our strike after the midnight of yesterday, that is from today after midnight, and that we want to reiterate that we are going to remain on strike until our issues are sorted. I must say that it's unfortunate that we have had to reach here, that we have had to reach a situation where we have had to leave our patients and find ourselves on the streets and addressing the government, not from where we sit when we are doing our technical duties, but where we have to stand on the other side and advocate for the rights of the patients. You remember that on Tuesday the 14th last week, a meeting was held at Council of Governors that brought together the Ministry of Health, the Social Health Authority, the Council of Governors, and the Clinical Officers Council. There was a resolution from that meeting signed by the Council of Governors leadership, the Ministry of Health, and that was meant to direct the Social Health Authority and 90% of our patients in the country. Since then, there is no clinical officer up to today, as we are talking, from Tuesday, who is able to...
In other news, a Nakuru family seeks justice for vanished kin in Nakuru, where the family is desperately seeking justice following the mysterious disappearance of their relative, Brian Odhiambo, who was allegedly taken by Kenya Wildlife Service, that is KWS wardens, from Manyani Estate. Brian, a 31-year-old man, was reportedly arrested in broad daylight by officers from Lake Nakuru National Park on Saturday, according to his mother, Elizabeth Ouma. The grieving family has scored local morgues, fearing that Brian may have been beaten to death by the KWS wardens. They are now calling for answers, demanding to know what truly happened to their loved one. All they want, they say, is closure and justice.
Usinipige.
Hataki mambo mingi, watupe Brayo. Juzi waliongea vibaya. Ati tuingie tumtoe kwa maji ata float. Aje, watupe Brayo, watupe Brayo.
Kwa jina naitwa Elizabeth Auma. Mimi ndio mama ya huyo kijana amepotea Brian. Walimtoa nje kwa plot, wakimpiga, wakimkanyaga chini, wakimpeleka ndani ya game. Tangu hiyo Saturday tumefuatilia, tumetembea. Hata jana usiku tulienda mpaka mchari kuangalia kama alitupwa huko, hatukupata. Tumetembea kwa police station zote, hakuna. Medi tulienda tukauliza, hakuna. Sasa mimi nauliza huko kwa kichaka yenye wanatuambia tuende tutafute. Tunatafuta nini? Wenyewe walichukua kijana. Si watupe mtoto wetu kwenye hata kama walitupa kwa maji watutolee, watupe. Na kama walimpiga akokuwete huko msituni, watupe. Hata kama ni kiwete tutapeleka hosi tutibu.
Mimi naitwa Alvio Kelo, mimi ndo bibi ya Brayo. Tunatafuta Brayo mpaka saa 5 usiku, tunaenda kwa hizi police post zote, tunaenda Central, tunaenda medical. Tunatafuta Brayo bila kujua kabisa kwenye yako. Ranger mwenye alishika Brayo hatupatie Brayo kwa sababu that will be easy, kwa sababu yeye ndo anajua kwa nini alifanya nini, alipeleka Brayo. So yani kitu sisi tuna plead ni watuambie tu kwenye Brayo nako. Hatutaki story mingi, hatutaki vita nao. Brayo ndo is the father of my 2 kids. Hata tujue tunataka kuanzia wapi. But all you can say ni hatupatie tu.
Jina langu ni David Moraya. Mimi ni MC wa Flamingo hapa. Na tunataka Brian ambaye tumesikia game park ambao walimchukua juzi. KWS tunaomba hii samaki ambayo imekuwa hapa katika game park watu wengi huwa wanazitoa. Na wakati vijana wadogo ambao wanaenda kutafuta samaki hata ya kukula peke yake, mnaenda mnawashika. Sisi tunataka haki ya vijana kama zile haki za wale watu wengine ambao wanateka samaki hapa katika Lake Nakuru, ambao washikwe na samaki mingi zinatolewa hapa, zinapelekwa Kisumu, zingine zinapelekwa Nairobi.
And nurses in Lamu County staged a protest today, urging the county government to meet their demands. Speaking outside the County Public Service Board offices, the nurses expressed frustration over being ignored by the county leadership and called on Governor Issa Timami to step in and resolve their issues. Key concerns include delayed salaries, threats from county officials, discrimination in promotion, and lack of opportunities for further education.
Sisi tumegoma na kusikia vibaya sana kuhusu kucheleweshwa kwa mishahara yetu. Mishahara inachelewa sana. Wafanyikazi wengi wamekodisha kwenye manyumba. Hatutaki hii fedheha na fitina kwa wenye wametukodisha majumba. Kwa hivyo hatuwezi nyamaza. Alafu kuna na jambo nyingine la kuendelea kwa elimu ya wauguzi. Kenya mzima kila muuguzi lazima aendelee na elimu. Tunatakikana tu updated upande wa medical education. Lamu County imekataa kabisa, haitaki kurelease wauguzi waende wakasome. Kwa hivyo hilo hatuwezi kunyamalia kati.
Hii discrimination ambayo imeendelea, maana huu ni mwaka wa 5 tukiwa chini ya mwavuli wa UHC, ni kwamba wengi tuliingia katika UHC tukiwa wengine tuko single. Sasa hii tumeoa, tuko na watoto wako shule, wala hatupatiwi hata mwongezeko lolote la mshahara. Hatupatiwi annual. Kila mwaka kawaida wanafaa kuwa na ile annual increment ya mshahara, yetu inabaki tu vile vile. Yani tax zinaongezeka, ilikuwa hatuna allowance, house allowance pale mwanzo, sasa hii imeletwa na inakatwa.
So hii habari iwafikie wakubwa wetu kwamba sisi kama wauguzi hatungependa kuwa kwa mgomo, lakini waangalie mambo yetu kiusawa, waangalie mambo kisheria, wasitumie vitisho, wasitumie hiyo mambo na discrimination. Tunaposikia kwamba wengine watapata promotion, wengine hawatapata, hiyo haiko katika sheria ya Kenya. Hivyo basi tutasema kwa sauti moja kwamba serikali ya kaunti ya Lamu iweze kuzingatia sheria ambazo ziko pale kuangazia mambo na labor katika kaunti ya Lamu.
Another news, Kiambu County Jubilee Party Chairperson Jonathan Mara and former Kiambu Member of Parliament Jude Jomo have called on the Salaries and Remuneration Commission, that is SRC, to reject the proposed salary increase for members of Parliament, where the two, speaking in Kiambu, Jomo argued that salary hikes should not be prioritized for legislators, urging them to first honor agreements with nurses, teachers and lecturers. Mara emphasized that raising MPs' salaries to £1 million would anger the public. who are already struggling with the high cost of living. He warned that such an increase will further inflame public discontent in these challenging times.
Everybody deserves a salary increment in Kenya. Life has become so difficult, life has become so expensive. So if it was a salary increment, let it be considered across all sectors of our economy. But considering only National Assembly or only Parliament for increment, that would be so unfair to the rest of the population. Teachers are going on strike, doctors are going on strike, nurses are going on strike, lecturers are going on strike. All of them are demanding a higher pay, and the government cannot afford to pay them. How comes it cannot afford to pay them, and the same members of Parliament who do budget for the country will be able to increase their salaries? So my take would be, if they need to have a change of, an increment of salary, let us first improve our economy so that our economy is capable of paying them without causing any stress to any other sector of your economy.
You are adding money to an MP who is already earning 1 million Kenya shillings. What for? Is a meager sum of money. It will not even reflect anywhere. It doesn't even change his life, even for a minute. But it provokes emotions from the common man. It is like adding salt onto a wound. Kenyans are already suffering. And one of the issues they want addressed is the high cost of living. To an MP, 15,000 Kenya shillings, because I've calculated and I see 2% would just be about maybe 10,000, 15,000. The new chairman and SRC, they should not behave as if they're operating in a vacuum. They should first of all listen to the sentiments of the common man. What does the common man want? They already know that members of parliament are being paid excess.
Now to a developing story. Donald Trump will be sworn in for a second term as United States President tonight, vying to expand executive powers, deport millions, punish political foes, and redefine America's global role. His inauguration caps a stunning return for the political disruptor who survived 2 impeachments, a felony conviction, 2 assassination attempts, and an indictment over his efforts to overturn the 2020 election. The ceremony, set for noon, that is 1700 GMT, will be held inside the U.S. Capitol Rotunda 4 years after Trump supporters stormed the Capitol in an unsuccessful bid to block his loss to Joe Biden. Due to extreme cold, this marks the first indoor swearing-in in 40 years. Trump, the first president since the 19th century to win a second term after losing the White House, has pledged to pardon many of the 1,500 people charged in connection with the January 6th attack. In the meantime, we have a bite from that is the current President Joe Biden as he bids farewell.
After 8 months of non-stop negotiation, my administration, a ceasefire and a hostage deal has been reached by Israel and Hamas, the elements of which I laid out in great detail in May of this year. This plan was developed and negotiated by my team and will be largely implemented by the incoming administration. That's why I told my team to keep the incoming administration fully informed, because that's how it should be, working together as Americans. This will be my final address to you from the American people from the Oval Office, from this desk as president. And I've been thinking a lot about who we are and maybe more importantly, who we should be. Long ago in New York Harbor, an iron worker installed beam after beam, day after day. He was joined by steel workers, officer created equal, that all of us deserve to be treated with dignity, justice, and fairness, that democracy must defend and be defined and be imposed, moved in every way possible.
All right, that is outgoing President Joe Biden bidding farewell. All right, China's ambassador to Kenya, Gao Haiyan, led Chinese nationals in the country to mark a new year according to the Chinese calendar. Haiyan stating, of all the festivals, the most important one is the New Year. And of all the 4 seasons, the first one is the spring, which is a grand traditional festival of the Chinese nation. Speaking at the sidelines of the event, Yan, who recently began her tour of duty as China's 18th ambassador to Kenya, stated part of our plans is to ensure all the agreements between President William Ruto and China leader Xi Jinping in their last year meeting are achieved.
Honor to serve as the 18th Chinese ambassador to Kenya. China and Kenya enjoy profound traditional friendship, and our relations are comprehensive, strategic, cooperative partnership. I think it's characterized by mutual respect, mutual support, and mutually beneficial cooperations in many fields. China stands ready to work with Kenya to implement the consensus reached by our leaders and the outcome of the FOCAC summit last year. As the new Chinese ambassador, I work together with my colleagues, the team in the embassy, to work hard, try our best to make a new contribution to strengthen our mutual trust, the fruitful cooperation in various fields, people-to-people contact, to enhance the friendship between the two peoples.
Former Mathare United FC chairperson and founder of Mathare Youth Sports Association, Bob Munro, died yesterday night in his Westlands home here in Nairobi City. Munro contributed greatly to the growth of football in the country and produced hundreds of top footballers in the country, include arguably of Kenya's greatest players, Dennis Oliech, the football administrator who died after a long fight with respiratory illness, will forever be remembered as a true pillar of Kenyan football. All right, and with that is all we had in store for you here on TV47. Much appreciative of your invaluable company, and to each and everyone who made this broadcast a success. My name is Moige William. Keep it TV47. Good afternoon.